and so many of us get the privilege of calling Roger our friend. In 2018, Raj, spelled R-A-J, graciously invited me to be his guest on his world-famous So You're in Sales podcast. We explored what we wanted the future of our industry to be like. We challenged each other to be agents of change. We volleyed ideas back and forth about driving more meaning and purpose into our industry, to pull out our mighty marketing swords to eradicate the term trinkets and trash from the lexicon. We asked ourselves, is there a capitalistic solution that could coexist with serving others? We wanted to show end buyers a fresh approach to aligning their brands with supporting nonprofits and sustainability, which was not yet a buzzword. We felt strongly that our industry, your industry, desperately needed to take a hard look inward. That if we evolved in these directions, we would enhance our industry's plastic stuff from China that often ends up in the landfill reputation, as well as improve the world. We wanted the industry to not just get by and survive. We wanted to be a part of positive change and ultimately growth. In those podcast conversation moments, the Promo Cares movement was born, and it was our distinguished Roger Burnett who led that charge. After the podcast, he also had what we'll call an entrepreneurial seizure. He developed his plan for social impact business, which is now called Social Good Promotions, which would focus on being a force for good in this world. That takes vision and courage and something else that rhymes with the word my friends in North Carolina say often, y'alls. Roger is also the author of books, wearer of pink outfits to help raise money for charity, everyone's best friend, and he has an infectious laugh that deserves to be a meme in its own right. We need more Roger Burnetts also in this world. He and I often have deep conversations about family issues, live music being medicine for the soul, and those bands who gut it out on stage every night to an audience of 1 or 100,000. I love his daydreams about opportunities in our increasingly progressive promotional products industry, about leaving a legacy associated with positive impacts, DEI initiatives, and of course, how he can best support his nonprofit community. Our phone conversations always end with, I love yous. While some of you may think it's a bit awkward for two grown men to say I love you, I believe that men in particular need to say I love you more often to each other without fear of shame or being made fun of. I'm so proud of Roger and his commitment to doing good in this industry and the world. I love you, man. I really do. Now let's get this Promo Mofo Distinguished Service Award winner up here. Give it up for Roger Burnett.
So we know this guy is a tough act to follow, so buckle up. I'm gonna hope to do this justice. So when I was young, like second grade, I remember our music teacher lined us up in class one day and had us sing. As we sang, she kind of slowly made her way down the single file line in which she'd arranged us. She'd stop in front of each one of us and kind of listen to our voices individually. And I can distinctly remember the anticipation I felt as she made her way down the line, making notes about our abilities. Had awards been given out that day, I can assure you mine was for least likely to win a singing competition. So my next attempt was with an instrument. And after weeks of practicing on a recorder, the gizmo that you sort of hold like a flute, but you hold it this way instead of this way, it was time to pick our real instruments. But back then, in the Detroit Public Schools, instruments were not chosen based on level of interest or even ability. Not really. You know, in those days, instruments were chosen based on the number of instruments the school had and your physical ability to carry the prospective instrument. So if you could hold the tuba, baby, that was yours. The more diminutive members of the class were relegated to instruments in a box like a flute or a violin, no drums, no electric guitars, no guitars at all, really. So I ended up with the cornet. It's similar to a trumpet, but its tubes are more curvy and tightly wrapped, so it was fancy, but it was really easy to carry. And as she handed me what was meant to be the vessel for the future, what was sure to be my long and successful musical career, the teacher told me, "You're gonna have to learn how to purse your lips." "Purse your lips?" I asked. And she said, "Yeah," and she sort of stuck her tongue out a little bit at me, and then she did this. "Go home tonight and practice pursing. If you can't push the air through your lips, the instrument will never reward your effort." So I bursted through the doors of the house and I breathlessly exclaimed to my mom, "Mom, look, a cornet. I gotta learn how to purse." And I hit her with what was at the time the most enthusiastic of my entire life. So she reached over, grabbed a paper towel, started cleaning up the mess I'd made with my demonstration, and suggested to me that maybe the basement might be the best spot for me to practice this. So off to the basement I went, excited to begin what was sure to be that same long and successful musical career. So after 5 or 6 minutes of dedicated and focused pursing, I was surely ready to tackle pushing those raspberries through my cornet, right? Have any of you tried to play this instrument? This torture machine is brutal. So no matter how hard I try, I couldn't even get it to make a sound. As a matter of fact, the harder I tried to deliver those raspberries through the mouthpiece, the only thing that happened was more and more air filling up my cheeks to the point that they were actually starting to hurt. So here I am, standing in my basement, pushing air from my lungs, every bit of what I could into this effort, and the only result was being sore cheeks and a rapidly growing sense of dejection. So in that moment, my dear audience, my musical career died. And as I slowly made my way back up the stairs, my mom asked me, like, "Do you need a towel or anything for the floor down there? Like, how's it coming? Are you getting the hang of it?" And I was like, "Mom, I'm gonna go play basketball. I'll be home when the street lights get on." So what's the lesson here? What are we meant to make of this other than the obvious fact that I was not meant to be the front man for any band? What I came to understand that was while I wasn't going to personally have the opportunity to contribute my talent to making music, it was clear that I gravitated to it as an art form, something that has clearly stuck with us and me to this day. So over time, I recognized that while I love the power of music, what I'm actually drawn to are the lyrics. So in middle and high school, I would fill notebooks with handwritten lyrics from songs that I would tape from off the radio. It was the words and the songs to which I was really drawn. So while I couldn't sing or play an instrument, I could express myself via writing, as writing, unlike singing, doesn't require the author to carry a tune or sing in harmony. So I tackled writing with the same enthusiasm and energy I would have applied to music had I had the talent. My favorite writing outlet almost immediately took shape in the form of letters. Letters to my friends, letters to my cousin in the Air Force Academy. I spent countless hours ignoring teachers in high school as I penned note after note to the people in my life. And unlike the disapproving look from my music teacher when she heard me sing, or the sore cheeks I developed trying in vain to make that cornet sing, my letters were met with enthusiastic responses from their recipients. It wasn't out of the ordinary for me to receive a new note in return from my pen pals, like super excited for what else did I have to tell them. I even heard from a few old girlfriends that my letters to them were so cherished that they made the trip with them to college and beyond. So from then on, I was just hooked. Knowing that I was able to bring happiness and joy to the lives of others through my growing mastery of words brought with it a newfound confidence and an exploding desire to do more of the same for as many willing subjects as I could find. My best friend Al Childress, he moved away to Canada for his junior year of high school. Letters. Some of my older classmates graduated and went away to college. Letters! What made this exercise even more gratifying to me was the give and take that happened as a result of what I would get in return. So similar to kind of what happens today in real time via social media, I could paint a picture of life for my pen pals in the way I would write to them. Grammatically incorrect, very similar in style to the way that I write to this day, I attempted to make those letters feel like you were joining my life as a show already in progress, and I frequently followed the time-honored author tradition of not always letting the truth get in the way of a good story. For me, I felt like I had found my calling. I even went so far as to offer a vision for my future in the signature page of my senior year high school yearbook, which was up there in the pictures behind me, to become the first professional baseball player to finish a game, go home, write a column about it for the next morning's paper, and then after retirement, take Peter Jennings' spot on ABC World News, right after the local newsman, Bill Bonds, who was a local legend. Ask me about him later. So while I obviously don't grace the evening news, nor was I able to realize the goal of a baseball career, there are definitely hints about the journey my life would take in that vision statement I wrote almost 35 years ago. The gift I found in all those words I wrote to all those people was hidden from me until many years later. Thanks to the advice of many mentors, most of which I found in this industry, and many of them who are sitting in this crowd right now. That hidden gift is the power of collaboration. I'm grateful for the many collaborations that have presented themselves to me during my career, and many of you have heard me talk about how exciting it is for me to happen upon a new opportunity to work together with others whose skills and talents I so admire. And in no other community have I been afforded as many opportunities as I have been as a part of this industry. The majority of those collaboration opportunities have happened as a result of my willingness to volunteer for the sake of bettering our industry. And much of what I said in the speech I gave when you all honored me with the 2018 RAC Volunteer of the Year Award, to which Danny also was my introductor, rings true even today. While the list of collaborations is long, I wanted to take a moment to thank some people individually for the willingness to work together with me on things we thought might be special, some of which are not here tonight. To Dana Zezzo, who swept me up in his enthusiasm for the early days of social media as we came together in what would become Promo Kitchen, even when we really didn't know what that was going to be. I say thank you for showing me the power of hard work, foresight, and the tremendous benefits to be found in volunteering. To my man, Jonathan Irvin, who as a result of our time together making the Promo Kitchen engine run, it afforded us the opportunity to collaborate on projects that altered the landscape of the supplier community in the branded apparel space. And to this day, whom I count on my list of closest friends, Jonathan, I say thank you for our friendship and for the fact that we were shipping stuff when everyone else was still just talking about ideas, my brother. To Bill Petrie, who's not here, who called me within what felt like seconds of my brief exit from the industry and came back, and he offered me the right opportunity to write for Promo Corner, something that I did for almost 5 years. Say thank you, Bill, for your willingness to make my space for the voice that I had and encouraging me to keep writing, even when it seemed like there wasn't always room left for what I had to say. To the countless industry collaborators who agreed to stop by what Danny calls the world-famous Sawyer and Sales podcast to offer your perspective on what it meant to try to be a successful salesperson today, I can't thank any of you enough for your willingness to help me keep that show going for more than 5 years and now more than 30,000 people who have listened to those episodes. I will be forever grateful to each of you for giving me a reason to press on with that show, even when I didn't always really want to. To Kara Keister, my partner in all things goodness at Social Good Promotions, who put her career on the line to help turn the idea of Promo Cares into a business that not only makes money, but serves as an example for other distributors about how to conduct your business in a manner consistent with the things that you and your people care most about. Kara, I can't thank you enough for your patience, as it took me a little while to figure out what it was we really wanted to say. I most assuredly would not be standing here today accepting this award were it not for your unwavering and very patient support. Each of these human beings has stuck with me through thick and thin, through pandemics and supply chain disasters, to listen tonight to me drone on about my love for words and collaboration. But there's still one small in stature, but enormous in impact human being for whom I am most grateful for his willingness to collaborate. My introductor and go-giver extraordinary, that guy back there. I know I'm not alone, as Danny has been so prolific in the sheer quantity of things he's helped co-found that he talked to you about. I'm not gonna rehash all of that, but I'm sure I'm probably over time. But for all the people in my life who dug in and invested with me in making something truly magical, That guy has no peer. Were it not for our fast friendship that he and I have forged around live music, good tequila, and making the world a better place, I think a lot of things probably wouldn't have became what they've become. Promo Kitchen, Promo Cares, my fanatical love for the band American Aquarium, I can assure you that. The chance introduction to Stan Phelps, who later went on to co-author with me the first business book focused on the branded merchandise industry in what felt like a generation. That fantastic annual gathering of those promo mofos, many of who are in this room right now, that happens as a result of Danny co-founding Band Together all those years ago in 2001. And maybe most importantly, the confidence that I now have to push even further, to continue to explore ways to make a difference in our industry, in my community, and for the planet. I, like so many of you, are better for my friendship with this man, and I can't properly express my gratitude for having the opportunity to receive an award on the same night that you got yours, man. It just feels right, and Border Grill, scooter race, reenactment tonight, let's do that thing, right? To everyone who played a part in me receiving this award, thank you so much. It means more to me than any of you can imagine, and I'm inspired to continue to do more to justify this recognition. Thank you.
Hell yeah.